My name is Electra and I am a Senior Earth Observation Consultant at the Satellite Applications Catapult. My academic background, I guess, is in astrophysics, and through work in astronomy during my postgraduate degree, I discovered I actually really enjoyed working with imagery in terms of sort of processing it, analysing it, sort of acquiring it, working through all the sort of finer details that were involved in those processes. At the end of my doctorate, I decided I didn't particularly want to continue in academia, but I was still really keen to continue working with satellites and particularly satellite imagery in an industry setting if possible. So I applied to work at the Satellite Applications Catapult, which is quite a nice sort of like halfway point between sort of research and industry, because we're a neutral body and we get to help everybody, which is excellent. It's a bit of a combination. No 2 days are the same. A combination of project work and supporting other parts of the organisation in their own work. Involves acquiring, processing, analysing any combination of the above Earth observation imagery, so pictures of the Earth from satellites, for various projects that I'll be working on. It can be for a range of sectors. It could be maritime, agriculture, transport, infrastructure. I've done it all over the last few years, so it never gets boring. In terms of supporting other parts of the organisation, I provide technical expertise for events and also for engagements with other businesses. So for example, for companies that want to incorporate Earth observation in their existing services, or actually just create an entirely new service based on Earth observation. So it's largely office-based, and also because of COVID, travelling to things like conferences and visiting collaborators in the UK and around the world has basically been impossible for the last 18 months or so. I have travelled to countries in which we implement projects. So I've travelled in the UK, I've travelled elsewhere as well. For example, I spent quite a bit of time in Colombia for one of the projects that we have been doing on cacao farms. Travelling to conferences and meetings, and to offices of organisations with which we work as well. In terms of working hours, they tend to be normal working office hours, so roughly, let's say, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. But obviously with flexible working and also working from home quite a bit, you can actually work around any other commitments you have. So in terms of qualifications, I had a master's degree in physics with astronomy. So basically I did all the core physics modules on my course, and my extra modules were in astronomy. I then went on to do a PhD in X-ray astrophysics. So that's where sort of this interest in the use of satellite imagery grew and developed. I was also on the side of that involved in teaching undergraduate students and trying to commercialise some university research during my PhD. And I should say also that this job at the Satellite Applications Catapult is actually my first job since finishing my PhD. I guess understanding the basics of how satellite imagery works, whether you gain that experience through satellites, satellite use in astronomy, or Earth observation, or drones, some strong problem-solving skills. Very rarely are things straightforward, and actually the Satellite Applications Catapult exists to actually facilitate this transfer from, sort of de-risk the transfer from research into commercialization, which a lot of the time is quite difficult to make. Certainly programming skills, at least the basics, so Python, C++, are all very popular programming languages. You can always learn on the job, and most programming languages are very well documented, meaning you don't have to reinvent the wheel in a lot of cases, but understanding the basics is very important. In terms of interpersonal skills, they are also quite a strong part of my job. Ability to explain sort of some technical concepts in simple terms to a range of audiences that may not have a technical background, and also being able to translate user requirements, so something that your customer or your collaborator might need, or your end user in any case, into technical requirements is also an important skill. And finally, not forgetting the much softer people skills. So you'll inevitably end up working with people with a range of skills, technical, non-technical, range of different backgrounds, different personalities, and you need to fit in and sometimes also lead teams of such people successfully so that you can deliver a project or a piece of work. Certainly the people I work with, both inside and outside of the catapult, we work with some really extremely highly motivated and skilled individuals, and it's great to see, this sort of combination, this mixture of people that have come together on a project, different experiences, different skills, and somehow you deliver something awesome at the end of it, so that's always great to see. Also, the variety of topics I work on has also been really great. I've worked in illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, to cacao farming in Colombia, to looking at the stability of bridges in Canada, in the UK, all over the world. So there's never a boring day. And also within the catapult, it's actually quite a unique environment where you can basically get involved in most things that you're interested in. You just have to pursue it and mention that you want to get involved. There aren't really any things that I don't particularly enjoy about my job. Nobody really enjoys report writing, I guess, so I guess that's always one downside. And in some cases, for some of the projects that we've done, time differences can make for some very long working days sometimes. So Earth observation is evolving all the time, and it's important to stay up to date with the latest developments in the sector. The technology being used in the sector is evolving and changing all the time as well, and it has never been more important, I think, to have some kind of programming knowledge and skills when you start out in this kind of world. And I also think that Earth observation will continue being relevant as new satellites and satellite constellations are launched, and as computer storage and power become cheaper. Also, we've got the biggest challenge probably that is facing our generation, which is climate change. And as long as climate change exists, Earth observation will always be relevant because it just allows the monitoring of the Earth remotely on a daily or even sub-daily basis in some cases. So we can monitor the effects of climate change and hopefully mitigate and stop them. I would say go for it. If you're interested in becoming involved in space, there are many ways in which you can do that. So I have a sort of, maybe you could say, a technical background. There are many different ways of doing this. We have people within my organisation that work in business development, HR, service design, Earth observation, satellite communications. There's a wide range of skills there. It's a very exciting and a constantly evolving sector. You might have noticed that the likes of Jeff Bezos, Virgin, Facebook and all that are now starting to become involved in space. And as more governments and businesses around the world realise the potential of space and how it can help them deliver positive impact, they will continue to become involved. If you want to know more about the sector, go and talk to us at the Catapult. We're always more than happy to help. And we've also got loads of regional offices around the UK. So if you want to go and speak to people in person, that is also possible.